Hi, I'm Neil Lancaster, partner in the private client team at Blick Rothenberg. Once again, I'm joined by Steph Tremaine and Chris Gilman, fellow partners in that team. The recent budget announced some of the most sweeping changes to the non-domiciled regime in my lifetime. Today, we're going to talk about some of the transitional provisions applying to that new regime as proposed in the draft rules. So Steph, we're moving from a non-domiciled regime to a regime with no special non-dom status. But we do have these transitional provisions. What do they mean for our clients?
Well, exactly what they mean for our clients is not clear because the guidance we have is quite vague at the moment. But the three main transitional kind of concessions that the budget's proposing to introduce are, firstly, that if for individuals moving from the remittance basis to this new arising basis as at April 25, for the 25-26 tax year, only 50% of their foreign income will be subject to UK tax. What happens to the other 50%, again, we're not clear on yet. The second provision is that anyone who's claimed the remittance basis at some point while UK resident and is also moving to this new arising basis from April 25 will be able to make a remittance of previously untaxed income and gains in either the 25-26 or the 26-27 tax year at a flat rate of 12%. So rather than having to apply the different tax rates to the different types of income and gains, which is an excellent simplification, but again, we'll wait to see the detail on that. The third provision is anyone, again, who's moving from the remittance basis to this new arising basis will be able to rebase their non-UK assets to the market value as at April 19. And at risk of repeating myself, there will be conditions attached to this which we just do not have the detail on yet.
Absolutely, and for those watching this video, it's really important to note that all we have right now is guidance. We don't have even the draft legislation yet. So whilst we should absolutely plan, we shouldn't take any affirmative action until we do have those draft rules. But nevertheless, there are still some potential real opportunities in this legislation. Absolutely. Clearly, all non-doms are going to lose in some way, but there are still some opportunities in there for clients to plan going forward, and we can begin to see what that might look like. Maybe you could take us through that, Chris.
I think particularly there's an opportunity to take advantage of this 12% rate, especially if you're currently on the remittance basis, taking a distribution from over your offshore trusts, for example, and bringing that to the UK at a discounted rate during the relevant window is a good opportunity to bring money to the UK, which you wouldn't have otherwise had. You know, potentially saving up to 33% tax by taking advantage of a 12% rate rather than the 45% rate.
No, I agree. I mean, I think the 12% rate and the ability to bring historic income and gains onshore is going to give clients a lot more flexibility and simplicity. That being said, to plan properly, we do need significantly more information. Steph, what are we going to be looking for when we see the draft rules in the summer, hopefully?
Well, for me, the key wording in the guidance is this moving from the remittance basis to the arising basis. So does that mean you have to have claimed the remittance basis in the tax year immediately preceding 25-26? When we talk about somebody who has claimed the remittance basis, will the revenue be looking at people who've actually paid the remittance basis charge? Because when we've previously had rebasing provisions, that was the key point. It's all this kind of detail that we just don't have yet that will really determine exactly who benefits and to what extent.
So Steph, the 2019 date seems like an odd date for the government to choose for the rebasing. Do you have any thoughts on where that came from and whether this is a good thing for clients or whether it's a relatively neutral provision?
So aside from them just plucking a date out of thin air, you mean, I think there's a good chance that they've looked at how far they can actually go back, because that's 6 years from when the new rules are going to be introduced, and taxpayers usually have to maintain records for 6 years, and I think that's probably played a part in picking that date for the rebasing.
Might actually work out quite nicely for them though, because the markets were relatively high in 2019 with all the turmoil that came with COVID and everything that's happened in the last 5 years since. Actually, that might be quite a beneficial date when it comes down to it.
High watermark before COVID.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to discuss the new non-domiciled regime and in specifically the transitional provisions and what that may mean for them, please do get in touch with either myself, Steph or Chris, and we'll be happy to speak to you. Or of course your usual private client contact.